Hello and welcome to Arreva Academy's online administration webinar. My name is Manny and I'll be your trainer for today's session, How to Create a Web Page Form. As a reminder, we're recording today's sessions and will be available for viewing in about 2 to 3 days on the website. You can find these recorded sessions by heading to arreva.com and selecting Services in the main menu and then selecting Academy from the drop-down menu. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So today we are going to focus on the web form side of things. An important thing to note about these web forms is they do not feed this information into the database. So there may be times your organization just needs a simple form that just collects data, maybe contact us form, but you do not want that information sent it down. This is a great way to be able to capture that information in a very nice kind of web formy way, which is great. So the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is head into your online administration side and log in. And as soon as you do, you always get brought directly back to that online transaction summary area. And what you're going to do is just click right on the globe that's going to immediately take you to the public side of things. So from here, this is where we're going to go ahead and work on setting up the forms and kind of making sure everything is good. And as we said, no information's feed into the database. Why we don't have to, worry about any of the settings or the codes from that side. We're not sending anything down from this type of form. All right, so once we're on the public side of the pages here, in the top left-hand corner, you have your menu option. You're going to go ahead and select that. And depending on what you're showing, you may have your navigation screen open or not. You can close that up just for, a nice looking screen. And right underneath, we have content. And underneath content, we have forms. As soon as you click on forms, this is where we can go ahead and create those really nice forms we're going to be looking at today. So in the bottom right-hand side, you just simply click on the plus sign, and that is going to be the start of your new form. So today we're going to focus on a contact us form, as that's kind of your general one. But remember, these are being set up by you. So any question you can think of, anything you want to ask, you can place it on one of these forms. All right, so we'll say contact us. We could put in a description if we wanted, not needed. And down below is where we're going to go ahead and add the fields. If you guys have worked with any other type of web form out there, you will immediately see it has very many similarities between, setting up fields and things like that. So down below here, we have an add field option that automatically shows, and we can simply click on that plus sign. As soon as we do, the first thing that pops up is the options that we can set this field to be. So whether we want it to be a text field, a select from list field, just simple text on the page, maybe a single selection box, so that's like a checkbox, just a checkbox based on the content you add, a date, meaning they have to enter a date in the proper date format, right? They can't type any format they want. And as well, you have a single checkbox and a multi-selection checkbox, meaning a yes or no question as a single checkbox, yes or no, they can't pick both, or a multi-selection checkbox, all that apply to you, which is great. So from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is we'll add our first field as a text field. And what we will call this is first name. We'll keep it nice and simple. And we just go ahead and say first name. And as you can see, we have a couple nice options here, and we can go ahead and make it a required field. And we will just say add. That is our first name option. And immediately we have these nice arrows on the side. If I left click and drag, I can make first name about half the screen. And then to the right, now I can add the last name field if I need it. All right. Perfect. We'll say it's required as we want first and last name on this contact form, or it's pretty much obsolete. So perfect. And that's not 50%, that's about 50%. Perfect. So we have first name, last name now as our field, and we can go ahead and add a couple more fields if we need to. So we'll click on add field here, and we'll do again a text field. And a lot of times text fields works perfect for what you need. So we'll say email address. And again, required, again, as a contact form, it is absolutely required to do that. So, we want email, we want first name, we want last name. Maybe other questions can be additional, not mandatory, but these for sure we want as main fields. So perfect, we've got our first name, last name, email address for our contact us individual who will be filling this out. Now what we can do is we can ask some other questions as well, so we can say add field, maybe do a single checkbox and do, have you donated to the org in the past? And I'll fix my donated, perfect. And we'll just go ahead and say, you know what, this does not have to be a required field, which is great. So absolutely, we can just go ahead and then simply say add, which is wonderful. So with our have you donated in the org to the past, you can see we have our nice checkbox, gives them the ability to check it. And what we'll do is we can simply move it around if we need to. All right, so wonderful. And now we have our field in our nice spot that we need it. And we are asking the right questions, which are fantastic. And actually what I'm going to do is just go ahead and we're going to remove this one and we'll just add it right back here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and say a single selection. I apologize. And right here we will go, have you donated org in the past? All right, wonderful. And underneath here, we'll say we don't have to make this a required field. This is where we can set up the options. So as I said, this can be a yes or no question. This could be, any type of question, how did you hear about us? Bam, 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 all your different options that they can select. For this one, it's a simple yes or no. We just go ahead and say add, and bam, we have our instant question there ready to go. So we got a couple nice fields. Of course, we could add more, but just to keep it simple, we'll kind of call it there and simply hit save at the bottom. As soon as we hit save, that is it. Our form is saved and ready to go. And what we can do is go ahead and add it to a page if we need to. Before we do, we're going to cover a couple nice things in the forms area, as well as how you can get back and make changes to this form if you need to. So on the left-hand side, you're just going to go ahead and click forms again. And here you will see all of the forms you set up. So if you have a contact us form, you have another form, great, they will be listed here in a nice simple sequential order. On this page, if we want to go back in and edit the contact us form, we just simply click it and we are right back in the form. If we make changes here, it's going to make changes on the form when we place it on a web page itself. All right. Another nice thing as well is if you click the three dots on the right here, you have the ability to view entries, which if you click that, it will show you a list of all of the entries that were made to that form, right? So someone came in, filled out the form, it'll show it in a nice display there. Another nice thing is being able to export the entries by just simply clicking the three dots and saying export, and that will send and export those out into Excel. All right. When setting the form up, there is a spot. If you click in the top right and click on settings, you will see there is an email notifications option here. And this is where we can go ahead and say, we want to send an email notification for each entry. And we can go ahead and put in the from address, to address, and the subject line that's going to be sent to us. So each time somebody fills this form out, whoever we put, in the to address will receive this, instant, filled out form. So multiple ways to gather that data, whether it's an email or going in and just looking at the entries or exporting them to Excel, all absolutely work great and, whatever benefits you guys the best. All right, so we'll just go ahead and say done there. And last but not least, we're just going to click on the three dots and we're going to go ahead and say publish. We will make this form public and we will confirm and simply save. And that is it. We now have our form ready to go. So again, on the left-hand side under contact, you have your contact us form and all your other additional forms will show. If you need to make changes to existing ones, just simply select on it. If you need to add a new one, you click on the new form down in the bottom right. And of course, this is where you guys will be getting your entries as well. The three dots, you can export or just simply view, or again, have them emailed directly to you. All right, so now that our form is created, we gotta go ahead and make it public. So there's a couple nice ways you can do that. You have an option where when we published, there is a direct link to the form. So if we copy this link, you'll see here we can kind of open a new incognito window, paste that link in, and this is a direct link to the form. You notice it's on its own page. It does have this unique URL and a couple other great things there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just simply exit this, and I'm going to show you how to add it to a page, which is great. So give me 1 second. All right, and what we're going to do is head to our sitemap on the left-hand side. So we have navigation here, and we're going to go ahead and click on that. And underneath navigation, we have admin public pages and view add public pages. So what we're going to do is just click the three dots and say add child page. So this allows us to get a custom domain and place this on that branded type site you guys are already using. So it is an extra step, but sometimes absolutely needed. So what we'll do is just call this web form. We can call it whatever we want. In your guys' terms, it can be called absolutely anything, web form, contact us, special entry form, whatever this page is going to be. We say copy of a page of this site, and we're just going to go ahead and select this sample setup page. That's just kind of our sample, easy to use page. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and simply say add page. Once we do, we have our nice simple page, and you can see it did add our web form on it, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove that web form, as that is not the one we were looking at or the one we created. It has a little bit of limitations to that one, which is okay. And what we're going to do is in the top right, click on the plus sign. And once you click on the plus sign, you're defaulted to applications, and you're just going to type in form. As soon as you type in form, it is going to show up right here on the right-hand side, and you can just simply drag it out to where you would like it on the page. So we're going to go ahead and put it right here. So that way it is located, right under the breadcrumb. If we did add a banner, it would be located right there. And instantly we can see we have a select form option. With that select form option, we go ahead and select that, and we can select the contact us form we just created. If there were multiple forms, just select the one that you want on this page. All right, so we'll go ahead and say contact us, save. And now if we exit out, we can go ahead and see that we have this form located on this web page. So again, the exact form we were looking at earlier, same settings we set up to a T, just now located on a nicer page. So if we go ahead and do the incognito again, this is exactly what the page will now look like to your individuals who are going to come fill this form out. And like I said, we can add a nice banner to the top, all that great stuff. And just to test it, we'll go ahead and say test at email.com, and we can say no, and we simply say submit. And we have a little error. I will make sure that is corrected. And basically there you are good to go in regards to getting your form set up, which is great. So again, it is most important to note that these forms do not send the information, the data, down to the database. They are there just as capture forms, web forms, to be used, side by side with our other data capture forms in conjunction when you need them. There may be a need for a special form. There may be a need for, many different things. And these web forms can be used for that. And so that is it on web forms. If you guys have any questions or need any help setting these up, of course, you guys can always just reach out to us at support@arreva.com. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.